Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Kelly Harris here with us, and Kelly actually has a very interesting business because she's helping her clients sell through their own stories. So, Kelly, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, I'm Kelly Harris. I'm the founder of Kelly Harris Creative and the creator of the Story First method. So I help entrepreneurs turn their everyday moments into marketing that actually converts into sales.
Excellent. Yeah. And can you tell us just a little bit more about obviously what this means for entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, service-based businesses? Yeah.
Yeah, so many people want more sales and they want the sustainability and they are looking for differentiators, how they're going to make their business stand out among the noise. And so what I do is I actually have created a method where you use your own stories, your own experiences as your secret sauce. Because as we move forward in the world that we're in, currently most people are exposed to about 10,000 marketing messages a day, and a lot of that is AI. So a lot of the noise, it's becoming noise. And so the question is, how do you stand out in that kind of world right now where there's that much differentiating or competing messaging? And I truly believe that the way to do that is to use your stories, your experiences, to build real relationships so that people are excited to work with you.
Wonderful. And can you maybe give us some examples of this for, some of the businesses or your own examples?
So this is actually something that to be real honest, I unintentionally created. I started an email list because at the time I was a copywriter and could not get people to share their data with me. So I thought, well, I'll start my own email list and then I have access to all of the data. And what I realized was I was like, well, what do I talk about? Nobody wants to hear about copywriting 100% of the time. So I started it really on the idea of like, I'm going to share a life or business lesson with you. I'm going to share something that I feel like maybe someone needs to hear. And what I found was the more that I was open about who I was and what I was experiencing, or maybe my kids were doing something, and I'd be like, oh, I think there might be a business lesson here. The more I would say, like, hey, here's what my kids did, and here's the lesson out of it, the life lesson, the business lesson, whatever, the more people would respond, the more people were curious, or they would actually reply and be like, oh my gosh, yes. And when I was pregnant with my last child, I actually wrote 6 months of emails in 3 days. I just literally created a method, wrote everything down, organized it all. And multiple times when I was on maternity leave, I would have an email where somebody would say, oh my gosh, that really resonated. I absolutely needed to hear that today. And I would be like, oh, before I respond, I actually need to probably find out what email you're talking about because I wrote those months ago. And every single time it was something that I also needed to hear. And it was just fascinating to me that, like, oh, that story really connected. Or, oh, I completely, like, I never thought about it that way, but I can see how I can use that for my own business. And so that's really how I kind of started to be like, wait, this is something new, but also I think it's something super important.
Yeah, very good example for sure. And then on top of that, like, what's the transformation that people go through when they're working with you?
So what I do is I teach them how to find the right stories because we don't need to trauma dump. We don't need to like just share, what I ate for dinner, but to actually find the right stories that are going to connect with their people. So I teach them how to start doing that, how to find that lesson in every story that we're sharing. And then the transformation really is that they build a story first system. So they're getting consistent leads, which leads to more sales.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, and then on top of that, like, what's your why? What's your reason why you're doing this?
So my reason why is because I have 4 kids and I was always told like here's what we have to do. And I'm sure a lot of millennials were sold this whole like go to school, go to college, get the degree, get a job in the thing you have the degree in, get the little picket white house with the picket fence, and then that's like the American dream. And I truly believe that that doesn't exist for most of us that are now moving into that adulthood kind of phase. I think you have to create your own version of success. And for me, the why really was to be able to show my kids that anything was possible. Like we can actually, you don't have to do what you're told you have to do just because society says this is the next right step. And so my why is to prove to my kids, like, if I can do this, look what you can do. And to be able to create that impact for future generations.
Great, yeah. And then obviously, if someone wants to actually get in touch with you, learn more about you, connect to you, how they can do that?
So there's several ways. You can email me, Kelly with a Y at kellyharriscreative.com. You can check out my website, kellyharriscreative.com. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about how to use stories or like what stories that you maybe should what questions that maybe get the, juices flowing so that you can write the stories that are going to connect. I actually have a freebie that I'll make sure you have the link, but it's called Story Sparks, and they're literally questions for you to start thinking about things that have happened to you that you can share with your audience.
Okay, wonderful. And then on top of that, obviously, when we're talking about struggles, and some watching us can be struggling in getting sales through stories, what's one piece of advice you can give them?
I think the piece of advice is to stop focusing so much on the sale because when you start to focus on that, I think there's like a desperation piece and that's the thing that you unintentionally show up as. And so if you can start making sure you have the system in place with stories, then the sales are going to come. People are going to reach out to you and say, I want to know more about what you're doing. Oh, it's fascinating that you know this, or I know your kids' names, or I know about your dog's name and tell me how that's happening. Like give people a reason to reach out to you and give people a reason to take action. And the other thing is don't overcomplicate it. Like we are really, really good at overcomplicating everything. This doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, totally. So speaking of overcomplicating, obviously, it's very important for people to actually most of the time use help from someone who's done it already, who's been through the process, who understands how to build a system and so on. So for example, if someone hires you or actually starts working with you, how long is it going to take them to actually build this system?
Good question. So I actually offer it both as a program that will be starting in January, and they can also work one-on-one with me. But I actually have a program called 6 Weeks to Sales Every Day. And during that program, I'm going to teach you how to find the right stories, how to build the right stories, how to make sure that each story has a takeaway or a lesson, something you can share with your audience, and then how to create that system make it a pipeline so that you're always getting leads so that once talk to them, close that sale, you're always going to be able to get more sales.
And are we talking about organic leads or paid marketing or?
So I always start with organic because we need to make sure that the system works. So these are our organic leads to begin with. And then once we know the system works, if and when my clients want to do paid, then we can. Because the piece that most people miss with paid advertising is that it's a multiplier, but it only multiplies what's already happening. So
Yeah,
if you're not making any sales, it's not going to magically make you a million sales. It's literally just going to multiply what is already happening in your business.
totally. 100 times zero is zero still.
Right.
And also, yeah, 100 times 1,000, it's like a big number. So anyway, the thing is, thank you so much for being a guest today. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. If you like it, drop us a like. Also, if you have any questions for Kelly or me, you can ask them in the comments, and we will be more than happy to answer them. Kelly, thanks a lot, as mentioned.
Anytime.
And yeah, see you all in the next episode. All the best and bye bye.